All right, we are back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel for Wednesday, April 23rd. We get some early games today along with the afternoon and night games like normal, but we get a full slate of games here with all 30 MLB teams playing. And folks, before we get into the best bets, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. We're coming off a Nationals victory yesterday, so, maybe they'll go back to back today. We're actually not going Nationals money line though today for our Nationals best bet. We'll get to that later. Again, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Later today, we'll have our NBA playoff predictions, 3 games in the National Basketball Association, all game 2s. Make sure to go check that out in a couple hours here on the channel. And also on Greedo Plays MMA, we do have our UFC Fight Night Kansas City full card predictions. Ian Machado Gary taking on Carlos Prates in the main event. Make sure to check that out in the description down below. And go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers over there. Okay, the first of our 5 best bets for today starts with the earliest game we have. We've got 2 of the morning games on the slate for us, and we're starting things off with our Nerfy. It's the Cincinnati Reds and the Miami Marlins, and on the mound for the Reds will be Brady Singer, the former Kansas City Royal, and for the Miami Marlins, it is Sandy Alcantara. Okay. I think it's kind of a similar situation to yesterday in terms of the Nerfy spot. We hit yesterday with Jose Quintana and Jordan Hicks for the Brewers and Giants game, right? Hicks is a guy who has decent stuff, hasn't been great this season. I think we can kind of compare him to Sandy Alcantara. I know 100% Alcantara is the better pitcher, and historically he's been the much better pitcher, but that's the comp I can low-key make for, these back-to-back days. And Brady Singer, I guess I'll compare to Jose Quintana. These are 2 lineups that haven't been hitting the ball that well in this series, especially Cincinnati, right? The Marlins have won both these games in the series. Now, I'll be honest with you, right? Our player prop yesterday was bad. That's my fault. We had Edward Cabrera under strikeouts. He got that in the 4th inning. I apologize for that. I have a player prop later today that I feel a lot better on. We'll get to that later. But the Marlins have won both these games in this series. Miami's actually on a 3-game winning streak, and they can go to 500 with a victory today over the Reds. Now, we don't really care about the final outcome of this game. We only care about the starting pitching and obviously who's going to be batting 1, 2, 3, or at least making those first 3 outs for both sides. Now, yesterday, the Nerfy did not hit as the Miami Marlins did score off of Nick Martinez and the Reds in the bottom half of the 1st inning. It was Cade Stowers with a base knock that drove in, who was it, Wagman? No, it drove in... It was Wagman who scored. And oddly enough, man, I mean, these guys in this Marlins lineup it's like Kyle Stowers, not Cade Stowers, but these guys in this Marlins lineup have been really producing. And then they get Agustin Ramirez, who's 5 for 6 in his career now. Every ball he's hit and play is like over 90 mile an hour exit velo. I don't know what's going on in Miami. I don't know if, I didn't think their farm was all that great, but maybe it is. I don't know. Anyways, the Marlins are winning games right now. Is this long-term sustainable? No, but it's fun while it lasts, I guess, for the team that's going to end up probably placing last place in the National League East. Maybe it'll be the Braves. Maybe it won't be the Nationals. It better not be. Anyways, we'll get to the Nats later. But I like the Nerfy today. So again, on the mound, you get Brady Singer and Sandy Alcantara. Singer's been decent this year. Had a really good start in his first outing of the year against the Texas Rangers. Went 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs. Since then, he's had some shaky outings, but we just need 3 outs off the guy. And yes, the top of the Marlins lineup has been great. Xavier Edwards, the switch hitting shortstop in the 1, Jesus Sanchez, Eric Wagman. These guys have been producing, believe it or not, even Wagman, who I remember when the Marlins were playing the Nationals earlier this season, I was scrolling through Marlins Reddit and Marlins Twitter pages, and they were calling him Wag-ass because he couldn't get on base, and now he's batting .275. I trust in Brady Singer to get the outs. I'm a little bit concerned about Ramirez, who's 5 for 6 to start his career, and the dude hits nothing but hard line drives, but I think Singer can get the outs. The difficult part, I think, is going to be, unfortunately, with Alcantara, who has struggled a lot this year. His last start was bad against the Phillies, goes 2 innings, 4 hits, 6 runs. Alcantara just hasn't looked like the same guy this year. And now, obviously, Alcantara, count his days, I guess, as a member of the Marlins. He is a prime trade candidate for this team because, obviously, again, yes, the Marlins are 1 game under 500. That's not long-term sustainable for the season, so obviously nobody's expecting them to stay that, and they're going to have to move a guy like Alcantara because they're going to be in no position to win. I don't know what his value is right now at a 7.27 ERA. Again, we expect that number to eventually go down. But again, who's trading for Sandy right now? At least that's not going to be the price the Marlins want for their, multi-time all-star pitcher. Anyways, I think he can get us 3 outs. The Reds lineup looks horrible right now. They scored 24 runs against the Orioles, but I think that's honestly just the Orioles sucking. It was not the Reds. It was the Orioles. Starting pitching is atrocious, and just pitching in general is really bad. And again, we'll get to Baltimore later. TJ Friedel's hitting the ball well this year. He's batting 300. But if we can get by Friedel with Alcantara, then you get to Matt McLain, who has some pop, but I'm not too concerned righty-righty. Ellie De La Cruz, Ellie can mash, but we just need Alcantara to get those outs. And then, behind Ellie De La Cruz, it gets tricky with Austin Hayes and Gavin Lux. 2 guys have been hitting the ball really well this year. And hell, Mlb Marte, who went yard yesterday as well for the Reds. But I think Alcantara can get us the 3 outs. Same with Brady Singer. I'm taking 2 pitchers who should be able to get by, let's be honest, 2 mediocre offenses. I'm taking Singer and Alcantara here in the earliest spot we have today from Lone Depot Park. Get us 6 outs for -130 for our daily Nerfy. Next up, we move to Queens, New York. The Phillies have to win one eventually, right? No, that's not the main reason why we're picking the game. It's just because, the Phillies are due for one. In all honesty, they are very due to win one. Matchup-wise, though, I will be damned if the Mets sweep the Phillies today. I'll be so damned if it happens. Pitching matchup, Zach Wheeler, David Peterson. Now, yesterday, that game did not go well for Philadelphia. I'll argue the game wasn't as bad as it appears. The Mets win it 5-1. Of course, Juan Soto still goes 0-for, but you know how things go over there in New York. The Phillies had a lot of base knocks in that game. They just couldn't drive in a run to save their lives. And the Mets' opportune hitting, Francisco Lindor, is great. We know that. Pete Alonso's having a tremendous year. Soto's just mediocre. But anyways, the Mets, they know how to take advantage with runners on. The Phillies, unfortunately, couldn't. And they're not getting great nights right now out of Harper and Turner. At least those guys have been cold as of late. Same with Kyle Schwarber. I don't know. And I have been seeing a lot about, I try to read as much about the NL East as I can on a daily basis. So that means diving into, Phillies, Mets, Braves, and Marlins Twitter as much as I can. And I keep seeing these Philly fans, which I find it very funny, by the way. This fan base is freaking out that they're 13-11, and I'm pumped. I'm ecstatic that the Nationals right now are only 3 games under 500. Regardless, this is something that's a very, I think, it's a fair complaint to make if you're a Phillies fan right now. We're paying all these guys so much money. Kyle Schwarber's a free agent in the offseason, but we're tied up with Castellanos. We're tied up with JT, and these guys just really aren't producing. Alec Boehm hasn't done anything for us, and maybe we missed the mark, at least in terms of trading him if we did this last offseason or, prior to last year. The return on Boehm would have been crazy, right? I don't know where Philly is from a long-term standpoint. Bryce Harper and Trey Turner are going to be there, but is it time to completely, kind of just rebuild again if you're the Phils? I don't know. Because Christopher Sanchez gets hurt yesterday. You don't know how long he's going to be out for. I don't know. Is it time for the Phillies to kind of shut things down and just, again, try to retool and figure things out? Who knows? I doubt it. They've got the money. They're not probably going to do that. They still got, their collection of young players as well. Bryson Stott's batting first now for this team. But we'll see. Again, if this is a squad in Philadelphia that, if they're, barely over 500, maybe Kyle Schwarber does get moved to the deadline because they're not going to re-sign him. I'm hoping he goes back to the Nationals. Anyways, in this one game, though, we're taking the Phillies 100%. I don't think the Mets sweep them. New York's on a run right now. They're 10 games over 500. I don't think they're that good. I think they're good. Unfortunately, I'll say I think they're probably going to win the NL East as of looking at it right now, the way the Phillies are playing. Again, I don't want to ever bet against Philadelphia in the second half of the year with Bryce Harper on that team. But New York's looking great. But in this specific spot, the Phillies have hit well historically against David Peterson. Zach Wheeler facing the Mets, right? Former team, whatever. It's still Zach Wheeler. And if there's ever a guy you want to bet on, if you want to bet on the Phillies and there's ever a guy you want on the mound, it is Zach Wheeler. ERA this season, 3.73 over 5 starts. He's been a little bit shaky, but that last start against the Marlins, 7 innings, 2 runs given up, and 13 strikeouts. Yeah, the guy's still very good. He's very effective. I feel like I say this a lot, but there is going to come a time where Bryce Harper heats up, and Bryce Harper does put himself in the top 3 of the MVP race, right? I mean, that's just, it's a given. The guy's too talented to not be in that spot every single season. I guess Juan Soto's due, but I think he's going to continue to be due. I don't think he's going to do anything against Zach Wheeler. I think Wheeler has got all the skills necessary to go 7 innings in this game, and I think the Phillies will get it done on the road. Peterson's been good this season, don't get me wrong, for the Mets, right? ERA of 3.27, coming off a start against the Cardinals where he goes 5 1/3, 7 hits and 3 runs. Again, this game I think really comes down to the Phillies' ability to drive in runs. We've seen them, we've seen their, ability to get on base, draw walks, find ways to get on. It's just been a matter of, okay, they can't drive in anyone in scoring position. I think they get the better of the Mets tonight. They got to salvage this series somehow, because if they don't, okay, you're looking down the barrel of getting swept in the series. You're now 13-12. And where are we at? Then you got to go to Chicago for a 3-game set. And then you got to go play the mighty Nationals after that. So, hey, it's time to panic, I guess, if we're Philadelphia if we don't win this game. I do think they get it, though. Give me the Phillies. And by the way, Aaron Nola, what are they going to do with Aaron Nola? They're tied up on money with him, too. So, I don't know. Give me Philadelphia, though, in this one specific game. I do think they beat the Mets. They salvage the series and they don't get swept. Going on to our next game, we move to our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. We need to have a conversation about Dylan Crews, right? I think at the beginning of the year, in the first couple weeks of the season, everyone was freaking out. Oh, Dylan Crews, he's horrible, he's a bust. Look at the guy now. Another home run last night, and I said it, and I've been saying this all year long, and since the man got drafted. Dylan Crews will be a better baseball player when it's all said and done above Paul Skeens. I don't dislike Paul Skeens at all. I like Paul Skeens a lot. But people forget, Dylan Crews was supposed to be the number 1 pick of the draft that year. The Pirates were supposed to pick Crews. He wanted too much money. The Pirates underslotted and went with Paul Skeens. Originally, Crews was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. Paul Skeens was supposed to go to D.C. I was ecstatic at the time that Crews fell. A lot of Nationals fans were as well. And I think we're going to be okay. Dylan Crews has been on a tear recently. In his last 7 games, the guy's batting .400. You might look at the average and say, oh, he's batting 190. He was batting .047 for a little bit. The guy is back. Dylan Crews is that damn good. Another home run. He's pulling the ball now as well after the 2 opposite field home runs in Colorado. Dylan Crews is going to be elite. Dylan Crews, I think Dylan Crews and James Wood are going to have bigger impacts in DC than Juan Soto and Bryce Harper. I don't know. I hope. Anyways, the best bet today, though, for this game is Dylan Crews over 1.5 total bases. Dylan Crews has gotten on base in every single game since last Monday. In terms of total bases, Dylan Crews, I don't think he's only hit for 1 double this year, but that's going to, those extra base knocks, again, majority of his extra base knocks, I think 75% of his extra base hits this season have been home runs. The doubles are going to start to come, though. 100% they are, right? I mean, that's going to be via the product of him putting the ball in play, him squaring things up. And for the longest time this year, and it's still been a thing, I mean, look at the Colorado series, Dylan Crews, I believe it was the 3rd game, Dylan Crews launched a ball into center field, and Mickey Moniak made a tremendous play to take a hit away from Dylan Crews, and he ripped it 110 off the bat. Crews is hitting the ball very hard. This guy, again, the greatest college baseball player of all time. I firmly believe that. Golden Spikes winner, obviously, at Louisiana State. The guy's a baseball player. He is. He's a baseball player, and he's going to continue to do great things for the Nationals. But my point earlier about the extra base knocks, he's only got 1 double in the season. And again, to clear this line, the easiest way to do it, obviously, is to put a ball in the gap and let Dylan Crews get a double, obviously, right? Those extra base knocks are going to start to fall, and those are going to start to develop for Crews as he's continued to gain momentum and confidence at the plate. Additionally, 2 singles will do it for Dylan Crews. You look back at his game last Saturday against the Rockies at Coors Field, the guy goes 3 for 5 at the plate with 2 home runs and a double. That is one hell of a line for Dylan Crews, right? Yesterday against the Orioles, right, he takes, I think it was still Creamer in the game, he takes him yard, deep left center field, 430 feet off the bat. Again, Crews is really finding his confidence at the plate, and I think we can't forget how good of a hitter this guy can be. He really got rushed up last year from AAA. There was a lot of pressure from, I'm not going to lie, the fan base, I think, and really with the success James Wood had, and him and, Crews and Wood at one point in time being both top 5 prospects, there's a lot of pressure on the organization and Mike Rizzo to call Crews up for the end of the year and to potentially sell tickets as well. He made his debut against the New York Yankees because they, big ticket week. Anyways, I feel like he's a little rushed up quickly, but Crews is now officially finding his footing. This is a guy, and I was never really concerned. I always kind of thought he was going to finish batting the year in the 260s-ish. I can say, again, I feel pretty confident that he will. I still think the guy's going to win the Rookie of the Year. He had a very slow start, but he's batting 190 now. And again, this guy started the year, 0 for 14? He's going to be fine. And I think today, the extra base knock is going to come against Tomoyuki Sugano, who, again, player in the MPB, if I'm not mistaken, over in Japan. He's been all right this year for the Orioles. Not big swing and miss stuff. He's a pitch to contact guy, and the Blue Jays did rough him up a couple starts ago, and I think the Nationals honestly will win this game, if I'm just being honest. I just wanted to stay away from the money line today because we've taken that a lot recently. I think the Nats probably do win this game. I think Trevor Williams had a good start against Pittsburgh in his last one. The Nats bullpen's fully rested now. They should probably beat Baltimore, by the way, who cannot score, as we saw yesterday. But Sugano is going to give up a lot of balls in play. Like, again, he's a pitch to contact guy. He's not going to force many swing and misses. His over-under today on Ks is 3.5. The high that his strikeout high this year is 4, right? So there's a lot of opportunities for Dylan Cruz to put the ball in play. Sugano will give up home runs as well. And I think Cruz also, this is at plus 115 for over 1.5 total bases. There's a chance he's back in the 2 spot tomorrow, I think. Or even the leadoff spot. I think the Nats are going to continue to, bring him up that lineup. I think when CJ Abrams comes back, not today, but tomorrow, I would hope the Nats go back to their, their top 4 in their lineup being Abrams, Cruz, Wood, and Lowe. Those are by far their 4 best guys right now, and I don't know who you go 5. I'd go Luis Garcia. I guess Josh Bell's going to continue to be on this team. That's fine. I love Josh Bell. He has not been performing this year, but I guess you put Bell in the 6th then. I forgot about Keibert Ruiz. You would Keibert Ruiz in the 5, Louis in the 6, Bell in the 7, and then I guess you go Jacob Young 9, and then whoever, a combination of whoever's in the game on a certain day, right, of Alex Call or Paul DeYoung, he's hurt, but Call, Tenna, Rosario, Trey Lipscomb probably in the 8. I don't know. It depends on what lineup they play per day. In terms of, again, if Bell's DHing or if Bell's playing first or what's going on, right? But in this spot, though, I love Dylan Cruz. I love Dylan Cruz over 1.5 total bases. I think he's able to put a ball in the gap today. Again, this is a pitcher that's going to give up base knocks, and Dylan Cruz should be able to execute. So give me Dylan Cruz over 1.5 total bases today. 2 singles, a double, a home run. All of that does it for him. Give me DC and DC to go over tonight. Next up, we go to our 4th best bet of the video, our best player props. So sticking with the same exact line, over 1.5 total bases, we're going to the Colorado Rockies game on the road in Kansas City against the Kansas City Royals. We're going Mickey Moniak today on his over total bases. So I got to watch a lot of Mickey Moniak, obviously, when they play the Nationals in that 3-game series up at Coors. Moniak right now starting in replacement of Brenton Doyle, who it's some real unfortunate stuff going on with Doyle right now, unfortunately. But right now, right, Moniak is the starting center fielder. When Doyle comes back, I'd assume Moniak just goes back to left field. But Moniak's been really good recently. He's playing the field, he's been superb in the field. This is a guy, obviously, former first overall pick by the Philadelphia Phillies. Got DFA'd in the spring, signs with the Rockies at 26 years of age, and here we go. He's starting to pick things up. For Mickey Moniak, in his last, I believe, 8 games, he's gotten on base with a hit in 7 of those. Okay? Multiple of those games, he has gotten extra base knocks, triples in 2 of those games, home runs in 2 of those games. The potential's there for Mickey Moniak to get the extra base knock in this game. It is definitely there. Again, same deal with Dylan Cruz for Mickey Moniak. 2 singles, a double, a home run. Any of that does it for us in this game. Rockies on the road, they're guaranteed 9 at-bats. Not like they were going to win a game in the first place, even if this game was in Colorado. Now, the Rockies did take the game into extra innings yesterday. Jacob Stallings with a clutch bases loaded double to drive in a couple runs to send the game into extra innings. Unfortunately for the Rockies, they lose another 4-18. Regardless, the pitching matchup tonight, 2 former Philadelphia Phillies. I guess with Mickey Moniak, so not the entire pitching matchup, but Mickey Moniak will be facing a former Philly in Michael Lorenzen. He was there for half a season, if you remember. Lorenzen's just been mid this year. Again, a very hittable pitcher. Moniak batting high in this lineup. He's going to get multiple cracks at Lorenzen. This is a guy, again, in his last 2 starts, his ERA is in the high 7s. The potential's there for Mickey Moniak to not just get multiple base knocks on Michael Lorenzen, but take him yard as well. Again, I've been very impressed with Moniak. Looking at this Royals lineup and watching them play a lot over the last week, you look at their 2-star guys in Tovar and Doyle, they're out, and you kind of just look at the squads like, all right, who else is here? I mean, Ryan McMahon, great infielder, obviously, in terms of playing the field-wise, but he hasn't really been having the best year at the plate. Zach Veen's exciting. I watched him hit his first career home run, but his average is still in the 110s. Bouchard is just Kyle Farmer is okay, not a great fielder at all. There's not much to see for this Rockies lineup other than Mickey Moniak. He sometimes bats, I believe, second, and then other nights he'll bat seventh. I hope he's batting second tonight. Bouchard doesn't need to be leading off, I'm just going to be honest. Let's let Mickey Moniak bat second, I hope. And even if he's batting seventh, I don't care. I think he's going to get enough at-bats and get opportunities off Lorenzen here. And again, like we said with Dylan Cruz, extra base knock, two singles, a homer, they all do it for us. I'm taking over 1.5 total bases today for Mickey Moniak. I like the matchup with him and Michael Lorenzen, and Moniak's been catching fire just like Dylan Cruz has. So over 1.5 total bases for Mickey Moniak. Next up, we go to our final best bet of the night, and we go to Oracle Park in the Bay Area, San Francisco, California. The San Francisco Giants take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Yesterday, we had the Nerfy in this game. It hit. Today, we're going with a money line spot, and I'm going with the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm not a Giants hater, but I'm just going to say I think the Giants' insanity run is over. I'm just going to be honest. I think the Giants are going to go back to what they're supposed to be this year. There's no disrespect to San Francisco. This team is going to be a team that's going to be hovering around 500 the entire year, in my honest opinion. I don't think they're a playoff team. I still think they're the 4th best team in their division. Obviously behind San Diego and Los Angeles, along with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, when you look at the National League West, that's a bloodbath, right? Padres 17-7, Dodgers 16-8, Giants 15-9, D-backs 14-9, Rockies 4-18. Brutal. But anyways, this is the best division in all of baseball, obviously, plus the Rockies. I think the Giants, again, are going to revert back into their expectation this year, which is a team that's going to compete. They put moves together in the offseason to try to compete. Again, Willy Adames, who hasn't been great this year yet. But anyways, they've made moves, but they're not going to be a viable threat this year. They're just not. I'm going to be honest. You look at this lineup on paper, they're nothing special. I'm just going to be honest. Like, Heliot Ramos batting 232. Adames batting 196. Jung-Hoo Lee will be an all-star this year. He's going to. I think there's a chance he starts in the all-star game. He's batting 315. The guy's phenomenal. Didn't get a hit yesterday, but Jung-Hoo Lee's great. Matt Chapman, he's a platinum, fielder, platinum glove fielder at third. Hitting-wise, he's just mid. I'm just going to be honest. He's above average. I'll say that. Wilmer's had a hot start to the year, went 3 for 3 yesterday, but I mean, how many times Wilmer Flores is going to continue to do that? There's just, I don't know. This team does not impress me at all. And you look at the Brewers, a team that's, quietly heating up, I think. Yelich just the grand slam yesterday. This team explodes, and they did what the Giants couldn't do yesterday, hit for power and, find extra base knocks. The Giants had 11 hits yesterday against the Brewers. The Brewers only had 2 more with 13, and yet the final score is 11-3 Milwaukee. Yeah, the Giants made some errors, but it was the long ball, right? Yelich goes yard, Jake Bauers goes yard. The Brewers, again, this is a team that had a very rough start to the year, obviously, with that Yankees series. They've bounced back in a big way. On top of that, guys, I love the pitching matchup tonight in favor of the Brewers. I really do. It's Freddie Peralta versus Logan Webb. Yes, Logan Webb's elite for the Giants. He's an all-star, multi-time all-star. He's their best guy in their rotation. At the same time, Freddie Peralta is the best of the best for Milwaukee. Right? Logan Webb might give you a deeper game. He might go deeper into this game than Freddie Peralta will. And Logan Webb, but the thing with Logan Webb, though, strikeout number's high, which is great, but sometimes Peralta can just pitch to contact, which does result in him getting roughed up a little bit, but Logan Webb's usually going to take you deep into counts. He's going to have to really work for his strikeouts or work for his outs in general, and Peralta will have the potential, like he did in the Kansas City game, to go 8 innings, right, and pitch to contact, get quick outs, and keep it moving. That is Peralta's only game this year where he's gone past the 5th inning. He's gone 5 innings in the other 4 starts, and then that one start against the Royals, he went 8 against the Royals lineup, which can be very off and on at times, I understand. But Freddie Peralta's been great this year, man. 1.91 ERA. The Brewers bullpen, it's improving. It's improving from what it was at the beginning of the year, I believe. And the bats, man, they're heating up. Churang's batting 337, Churio 260. Yelich grand slam, that's going to get him going, right? Frelick's been having a great year. This is a good Brewers team. And if we talk about expectations, okay, this is a team that was supposed to compete again this year because, let's just be honest, that's what the Brewers do every year. The Brewers have a chokehold in the National League Central every single season, right? The Giants were not supposed to be, again, a top threat. And I think they're going to go back into what they're supposed to be, right? They're going to go on a skid here. They're 15-9, which, again, is great. They're 6 games over. I don't think this is sustainable long term. I think the Brewers are going to get the win tonight. They had that 8-run 6th inning yesterday, which is crazy. Obviously, that was with the Bowers and Yelich home runs. Churang had a big hit in that inning as well. Bowers, I believe, batted twice in the 6th. He must have because they scored 8 runs. But anyways, I do think the Brewers are better in this spot. I think Freddie Peralta is getting overlooked a little bit. I understand, again, he's not going to potentially give you likely not 7 innings like Logan Webb can, but at the same time, I think the Brewers are going to rough up Logan Webb as well. They're going to work counts. They're going to get him out this game kind of at the same time Peralta does. I think he'll become a battle of the bullpens. I understand the Giants have a really good, closer in Ryan Walker and whatnot. Camilo Doval's, off and on sometimes. But I think the Brewers' bats are going to be better. I think the Giants, again, I'm not impressed with the Giants' bats right now other than Jung-Hoo Lee. They were hot to start the year, and now it just kind of feels like Jung-Hoo Lee and, okay, Wilmer Flores will give you a night. But I don't know. I'm going to side with the Brewers here. I know the Giants, again, have been all right at home this year, but I think it's a great spot for the value as well. Plus 125 from Milwaukee in San Francisco. Sign me up. Give me the Brew Crew on the road here at Oracle Park. So folks, thank you all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for this Wednesday slate of baseball. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you do disagree with any of the picks, we'll be back tomorrow for more MLB Best Bets and later today for our NBA predictions as well. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.